Imagine a time when North America was vastly different. A time when the landscape was dominated by forces of nature far beyond our current understanding. Picture colossal ice sheets dominating the landscape, carving out valleys and damming rivers. These ice sheets were not just static blocks of ice, they were dynamic, powerful entities that shaped the very ground beneath them. This was the scene thousands of years ago during the last ice age. The land was covered in ancient glaciers, creating a frozen terrain that seemed almost otherworldly. As the climate warmed, these ice sheets melted, unleashing torrents of water that reshaped the continent. The melting ice sheets were like giant faucets, releasing vast amounts of water that carved new paths and created new landscapes. Rivers changed course, lakes formed and disappeared, and ecosystems were transformed. The natural world was in a state of constant flux, adapting to the new conditions created by the melting ice. This is the story of how the Missouri River's redirection, driven by the melting Laurentide Ice Sheet, triggered a cascade of changes that impacted North America's climate and contributed to a global cooling event known as the Younger Dryas. This event was a dramatic shift in the Earth's climate, a sudden return to glacial conditions that had far-reaching effects. Our journey takes us back to the heart of North America, where the Missouri River, once a mighty tributary of the Hudson Bay drainage system, was dramatically rerouted. This rerouting was not a simple change. It was a monumental shift that altered the course of history. This shift in its course, a consequence of the melting ice, had profound implications for the continent's climate and ecosystems. The rerouted river changed the way water flowed across the land, affecting everything from plant life to animal migrations. The influx of massive amounts of cold, fresh water into the North Atlantic Ocean disrupted ocean currents, triggering a chain reaction that plunged the planet back into a period of glacial-like conditions. This disruption was like a domino effect, with one change leading to another, each more significant than the last. Join me as we delve into this fascinating chapter of Earth's history, exploring the powerful forces that shaped our planet and continue to influence our world today. We will travel back in time to witness the raw power of nature and understand how these ancient events still resonate in our current climate. We will uncover the secrets held within ancient landscapes, decipher the clues embedded in sediment layers, and witness the enduring legacy of the Ice Age on the North American continent. These layers of sediment are like pages in a history book, each one telling a story of a time long past but not forgotten. Imagine North America nearly 13,000 years ago. A massive ice sheet known as the Laurentide Ice Sheet covered much of Canada and the northern United States, holding enough ice to raise sea levels by hundreds of feet. Beneath this icy blanket lay giant glacial lakes, their water held back by towering walls of ice. These lakes, Agassiz, Ojibway and McConnell, were giants, with surface areas rivaling today's Great Lakes combined. As Earth's climate warmed, the Laurentide Ice Sheet began to melt, filling these lakes even more. At first, the meltwater flowed north into the Arctic and Hudson Bay. But as the glaciers weakened, so did the paths of these waters. The sheer amount of water trapped here was staggering. And as glacial dams gave way, massive floods and river redirections changed entire landscapes, like the path of the Missouri River. And it's this shift that set the stage for dramatic changes in climate. One of the most remarkable of these changes occurred with the Missouri River. Originally, the Missouri flowed northward toward the Hudson Bay. But as the glaciers receded and meltwater lakes breached, the river was suddenly forced southward, joining what would later become the Mississippi River system. This wasn't just a minor shift. It fundamentally transformed the entire region's hydrology. By joining the Mississippi, the Missouri began to drain into the Gulf of Mexico instead of flowing north. This change redefined the Mississippi-Missouri basin, creating a vast new drainage system that would later support diverse ecosystems, agriculture, and human civilizations. Imagine the power of this redirection, creating new riverbeds, reshaping landscapes, and feeding downstream regions with fertile soils. The Missouri's southward path began a journey that would impact life across the continent. But the story of the Missouri River's redirection isn't just about changing landscapes. This influx of cold, nutrient-rich meltwater had significant effects on the local climate, moderating the warming trend that had begun after the Ice Age and extending colder conditions across North America. These cooler conditions altered plant and animal life. Species that thrived in cooler temperatures flourished, while others faced new challenges. This shift in climate and ecosystems marked the beginning of a new chapter for North America's biodiversity. Megafauna, like the mammoths, already pressured by changing habitats, faced increased challenges, while smaller, more adaptable species found new niches. This change was a key step in shaping the ecosystems that would eventually support early human societies. But this wasn't just a North American phenomenon. The flood of glacial meltwater flowing into the Atlantic had far-reaching consequences for global climate. This massive influx of fresh water interfered with one of Earth's most critical climate regulators, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC. Under normal conditions, the AMOC carries warm water from the tropics toward the North Atlantic. But this fresh, cold meltwater disrupted the system, slowing the AMOC and triggering a cooling effect in the Northern Hemisphere. What followed was the Younger Dryas cooling event, a sharp drop in temperatures that lasted over 1,000 years. Temperatures across the Northern Hemisphere plummeted, in some areas by as much as 15 degrees Celsius. The environment reverted to near glacial conditions, freezing over parts of Europe and North America and reshaping ecosystems for both animals and early humans. For humans, this sudden return to cold, glacial-like conditions brought new challenges. Food sources diminished, and survival became even harder as communities adapted to a harsher climate. Today, the Missouri and Mississippi River system stands as one of North America's most vital water networks, but its legacy goes far beyond providing water and fertile soil. The river redirection, sparked by glacial melt, reshaped entire landscapes, impacted early civilizations, and may even have contributed to a global climate event. Imagine how this redirection of waters influenced agriculture and settlement patterns thousands of years later, and how the lands shaped by these rivers would go on to support Native American communities, early explorers, and eventually the development of the United States. This history reminds us of the power and influence water holds over humanity. Rivers have always played a pivotal role in human civilization. As the Missouri River redirected its course, it not only shaped the land, but also influenced the patterns of human settlement and agriculture. The fertile floodplains of the new Missouri-Mississippi system became prime real estate for early human communities. Imagine early peoples discovering the abundance of resources these riverbanks offered: water for drinking and irrigation, rich soils for farming, and pathways for trade and transportation. The river systems served as natural highways, facilitating the movement of goods and ideas. This interplay between rivers and human development is a story repeated across cultures and continents. From ancient Mesopotamia along the Tigris and Euphrates to the Indus Valley, civilizations have thrived along rivers, using their resources to build societies, create trade networks, and foster innovation. As we reflect on the history of the Missouri River and its redirection, we see a crucial connection between nature and humanity. The shifts in climate and ecosystems influenced by the river's journey helped lay the groundwork for the diverse cultures that emerged in North America, illustrating how interconnected our environment is with human progress. The Missouri River's redirection, sparked by retreating glaciers, is a story of transformation on a massive scale. It connects rivers, reshapes climates, and has a legacy that echoes across continents. As we continue to explore Earth's past, we uncover just how interconnected our planet's systems truly are. Join us in our next episode as we delve deeper into the mysteries of glacial lakes and the astonishing forces that shape our world.